So I'm doing a series of prophecies for one reason. I want you to see that no matter what is predicted, that the outcome is amazing because we're thinking about it anyway. So let's talk about it. Who has given these prophecies? Do they sound like one another? I'm going to actually do a comparison on Wednesday. And so I wanted to give this to you, part two of Peter Deunov, who was part of the Great White Brotherhood. What is that? I didn't know anything about this, but thankfully a subscriber mentioned this and I actually bothered to read it. I'm going to read it to you because the part two is what happens after these supposedly cataclysmic events. And I'm going to remind you of something that'll help you to celebrate this and not fear it. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube. I'm here to help you break through the fears and live an amazing life. Fear is built in the human species. Why? Well, we have to fear certain things to survive, but we've allowed it to take over us. And today we're going to talk about that fear of that future that keeps being predicted, starting with Edgar Cayce, Nostradamus, Dolores Cannon, and now Peter Deunov. And I did add another person, Jonathan Ashford. He had a near-death experience and he talked about what he saw. But basically, I want to focus on Peter Deunov today and Bledsoe. Why? Because I'm seeing some similarities. And we'll, of course, put these all next to each other on Wednesday so you'll see what is consistent. But what's consistent about what happens afterwards is really exciting. And the divine feminine is very much a big part of that. I hope you'll share these videos because I want to get the word out. There is nothing to fear. So let's start right away with something I want to remind you of that can maybe give you some peace as I share this. And this is the good part of his prophecy. That is when I went to Vegas and they were imploding the sands. I was there on New Year's Eve. They were imploding it one floor at a time. It blew up and we all cheered because we knew that that old building was going to go away and a new one was going to be built on it. So we were excited about that and we knew what was going to happen after that building came down. Well, most people are walking around and they're just going to see a building blow up and they're going to be running and screaming because they don't know that that is what needs to be done to put the new one on. Once you know this, you know that this thing has to implode, what's going on out there, the financial world, everything with our health care, energy, all of these things have to change and basically implode for the new to be built on it. You'll celebrate it. You'll know, oh, finally, we're going to step away from this craziness and something new will be put in its place. I want you to celebrate that and know that whatever you see happening is an opportunity for us to create that change. Now, we are seeing cataclysmic events with earthquakes, fires, floods, some crazy stuff going on out there. It's going to continue. Why? We have abused our planet and she is not happy with us. So we're seeing the effects of the cause. The cause is our disregard for everything, including one another. Wars, it all has to end. And corruption will be put to the forefront. It is happening now. Things are coming out that cannot be hidden anymore by certain people who like the control and the power and doing some crazy stuff. Well, the crazy stuff is going to come out now. And we're seeing even these orbs and UFOs are being seen, and we're told to go ahead and talk about it. We're not going to think you're crazy anymore. Why? It's just a part of who and what we are. And there are things beyond this world that we don't know about. And it's all very exciting. It's nothing you have to fear. So I'm going to go into the second half of this. Now, if you don't know who Peter Deunov is, he was a master, a representative of the Great White Brotherhood, also known as the White Lodge, the Ascended Masters, or Light Workers, who guided the spiritual evolution of humanity. He had over 40,000 disciples in Bulgaria before the Nazis, and then the communists persecuted them and drove them underground. Why? They're pretty powerful. And so he gave 3,700 lectures on the wide-ranging subjects of religion, music, geometry, astrology, philosophy, and esoteric science. Albert Einstein, this is how important this guy was. Albert Einstein said of Peter Deunov, "The whole world bows down before me. I bow down before the master Peter Deunov from Bulgaria." We've gone from a very troubling, unconscious time, a phase which the Hindus called Kali Yuga. He said it's on the verge of ending, and he gave this prediction just before he died in 1944. He said it would be decades before this would transition into the new earth. And guess what? It's now, right? 1944, it's been decades. So we are now at the verge of two epochs, that of Kali Yuga, the old world, and that of the new era that we are entering. If you watch my first video, he stated there is not any place on earth that is not dirtied with human or animal blood. Earth must therefore submit to a purification, and it is for this that certain continents will be immersed while others will surface. Then he goes into the details, but here's the good part. He talks about the sixth race. Now, we've heard Cayce talk about a new race. We've talked about Dolores Cannon, also the Hopi. So read chapter 60 of Isaiah because it relates to the coming of the sixth race, the race of love. So let's talk about the worst of it. Again, it's the implosion that has to happen so the new can be built upon it. The terrible predictions of the prophet Daniel written in the Bible relate to the epoch that is opening. There will be floods, hurricanes, gigantic fires, and earthquakes. This is happening right now that will sweep away everything. No, we're not quite there yet. Blood will flow in abundance. Ooey. There will be revolutions. Terrible explosions will resound in numerous regions of the earth. Let's hope we don't go that far. There where there is earth, water will come, and there where there is water, earth will come. God is love, yet we are dealing here with a chastisement, a reply by nature against the crimes perpetrated by man since the night of time against his mother, the earth. Edgar Cayce spoke directly of this, and that we are actually communicating with Earth, the sun, the planets, and that we affect it all. Those solar flares, when we go into a high frequency, we can lessen them. Same thing with these cataclysmic events. This is why we must go into a state of love and healing. After these sufferings, here we go. Those that will be saved, the elite, will know the golden age, harmony, and unlimited beauty. Thus, keep your peace and your faith when the time comes for suffering and terror. Don't let this freak you out, because it is written that not a hair will fall from the head of the just. Don't be discouraged. Simply follow your work of personal perfection. Don't go into opposition. I heard in our discussion today on Sunday was enemy, the word enemy. There aren't any, and you're going to have to recognize it because Source loves all of us. It's going to be tough, but you have to stay in light and love and understand that everyone is a light being experiencing their own choices. And as what I saw in a recent video, divine play. Yeah, this is divine play. Yeah, some kind of a play. You have no idea of the grandiose future that awaits you. A new earth will soon see day. In a few decades, that was back in the 40s, he said that the work will be less exacting and each one will have the time to consecrate spiritual, intellectual, and artistic activities. The question of rapport between man and woman will be finally resolved in harmony, each one having the possibility of following their aspirations. The relations of couples will be founded on reciprocal respect and esteem. Yes, Chris Bledsoe spoke of the divine feminine coming in and balancing it. And the golden lady that speaks to him every year, I don't know how that actually works, but she talked about that the divine feminine had to come in to balance that because right now it's very masculine. Next, humans will voyage through the different planes of space and break through intergalactic space. They will study their functioning and will rapidly be able to know the divine world to fusion with the head of the universe. Oh, this is exciting. The new era is that of the sixth race. Your predestination is to prepare yourself for it, to welcome it, and to live it. I keep telling you, you can't talk about it. You can't fear this. This is going to happen. That happens. You have to live it now with everything you use, your thoughts, your beliefs. It has to happen now. The sixth race will build itself around the idea of fraternity. There will be no more conflicts of personal interests. The single aspiration of each one will be to conform himself to the law of love. The sixth race will be that of love. A new continent will be formed for it. It will emerge from the Pacific so that the Most High can finally establish his place and her place on this planet. The founders of this new civilization, I call them the brothers of humanity, or also children of love. They will be unshakable for the good, and they will represent a new type of human. Men will form a family as a large body, and each will represent an organ in this body. In the new race, love will manifest in such a perfect manner that today's person, man or woman, can only have a very vague idea. You have no idea how amazing this is going to be. Get excited. Let the building implode. Stay tight to your heart, your love. You're sending unity and compassion to all others, and be there for one another. The earth will remain a terrain favorable to struggle, but the forces of darkness will retreat and the earth will be liberated from them. Ooh, humans seeing that there is no other path will engage themselves to the new path of new life, that of salvation. In their senseless pride, some will, to the end, hope to continue on earth a life that the divine order condemns, but each one will finish by understanding that the direction of the world doesn't belong to them. New, a new culture will see the light of day. It will rest on three principal foundations: the elevation of woman, the elevation of the meek and humble, the meek shall inherit the earth, and the protection of the rights of man. The light, the good, and justice will triumph. It is just a question of time. The religions should be purified. Each contains a particle of the teaching of the masters of light, but obscured by the incessant supply of human deviation, right? Religions have done that. All the believers will have to reunite and to put themselves in agreement with one principle, that of placing love as the base of all belief, whatever it may be. Love and fraternity, that is the common base. The earth will soon be swept by extraordinary rapid waves of cosmic electricity. Ooh, this is interesting. A few decades from now, beings, that's now, who are bad and lead others astray will not be able to support their intensity. They will thus be absorbed by cosmic fire that will consume the bad that they possess. I don't like the word bad, but let's just say, the low frequency beliefs and thinking. They then will repent because it is written that each flesh shall glorify God. Our mother, the earth, will get rid of men that don't accept the new life. She will reject them like damaged fruit. They will soon not be able to reincarnate on this planet, criminals included. Only those that possess love in them will remain. Ah, now we're getting to something. Those on the highest frequency will be in another space, and the others will not be here. She's going to go through purification. Men do not suspect to what dangers they are menaced by. They continue to pursue futile objectives and to seek pleasure. On the contrary, those of the sixth race will be conscious of the dignity of their role and respect of each one's liberty. They will nourish themselves exclusively from products of the vegetal realm. Their ideas will have the power to circulate freely as the air and light of our days. The words, if you are not born again, apply to the sixth race. The sixth race, the race of love. After the tribulations, men will cease to sin and will find again the path of virtue. The climate of our planet will be moderated everywhere, and brutal variations will no longer exist. The air will once again become pure, the same for water. The parasites will disappear. Men will remember their previous incarnations, and they will feel the pleasure of noticing that they are finally liberated from their previous condition. Yeah, release of karma. In the same manner that one gets rid of the parasites and dead leaves on the vine, so act the evolved beings to prepare men to serve the God of love. They give to them good conditions to grow and to develop themselves. And to those that want to listen to them, they say, do not be afraid. Still a little more time and everything will be all right. You are on the good path. May he that wants to enter in the new culture study, consciously work, and prepare. Thanks to the idea of the fraternity, the earth will become a blessed place, and that will not wait. But before, great sufferings will be sent to awaken the consciousness. Sins accumulated for thousands of years must be redeemed. Karma is happening now. The ardent wave emanating from on high will contribute in liquidating the karma of peoples. You may have seen my video where I told you all karma is being handled right now. That was, I think, last year. The liberation can no longer be postponed. Humanity must prepare itself for great trials that are inescapable and are coming to bring an end to egoism. Under the earth, something extraordinary is preparing itself. A revolution that is grandiose and completely inconceivable will manifest itself in nature soon. God has decided to redress the earth, and he will do it. It is the end of an epoch. A new order will substitute the old, an order in which love will reign on earth. So Chris Bledsoe talked about the divine feminine coming in. I want to also mention something. In my private membership meeting, I looked up when the red star, actually blue star Regulus, will appear. It actually is now. And September 19th, I think, is when it becomes really seen through March and beyond. It's just not one day. So let's not look for one day or October, and we'll talk more about that. But know that that star Regulus is actually seen now. In fact, tonight I'm going to go out and see if I can see it here in Florida. So know that we're in the era. And that the red star Regulus, it actually says, may appear, the blue star may appear as red, and Chris Bledsoe called it the red star Regulus. It may appear red because when it comes up during dawn, it can be seen because the light and all the other factors were in the era now. So this feminine, divine feminine, it could be happening right now for all we know. It may not be just one day event, but what I just spoke of, I truly believe is happening now. Are the cataclysmic events going to happen? We don't know for sure how that's going to unfold or if it's going to be in our lifetime, but just be prepared and stop running from it because you are eternal no matter what happens. And when you leave here, and you are going to leave here at some point, make sure you are pure of heart and your only focus right now must be, if you want to participate in that world where it's beautiful and you've worked through the karma, you have to go into your heart of pure love, compassion, giving. A society of giving isn't socialist. Socialist is controlled by other people, and people are still told what to do. What I speak of is free will of giving and choices for others who are lost. And if you create options for other people, you will flourish. You will be in abundance. You'll be happy because you'll be doing things you're passionate about. I hope you will join me. I have a book that talks exactly about this. It was a download coming up on almost 2 years. And I was told this has to come out now because things are changing. The tipping point, I speak of it in that book. Also, I have a private membership. Every Sunday we go in and talk about these things. It's pretty cool. And you'll get my videos earlier. Go down in the description. I have non-toxic, non-plastic, no animal testing products by amazing companies who are doing things, wonderful things for our bodies, our earth. And I have discounts for you from water purifiers to all kinds of cleaning things that you can use. It's time to end the toxins in everything. Take a look at what you're using and ask yourself if you can change it, if you can share it, because you have to start living this life now as best as you can. It's going to take a little while, but every time you have a choice, make the higher choice. On Wednesday, I am going to take Cayce, Dolores Cannon, Chris Bledsoe, and Peter Deunov and maybe a couple other in there. Maybe I'll put the Hopi in there. I'm going to actually put them in a research tool and I'm going to compare all of them to see exactly what they said. And right now, it's looking pretty consistent of the same thing. There's a removal of those on one side. Is it the higher frequency going to leave? Is it the lower? According to Peter Deunov, the lower ones will be removed and they will not be allowed to reincarnate here. Why? Because if the higher frequency, loving people are here, you don't want them reincarnating here. So they may be removed to another planet, another existence, another dimension. That's what I think he meant, but I'll tell you what, I don't have all these answers. I would love to know what you think. I hope you'll subscribe. Please share these videos, and we're going to explore this on Wednesday. And then Friday, I have something real special for you. I'm going to show you what's actually happening out there that's creating the new earth. It's not a future event. It's happening now. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.